What's in my lovely mug tonight, you may ask? Is it water? Is it wine? You'll never know. Look, if you're hearing footsteps in an empty hallway, seeing shadows that don't belong to anyone in your home, or feel a really strange cold breeze when you know that the AC is off, just know something is in that house with you. And tonight we're going to hear about some of those kinds of encounters. What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl Luna Nova, and I'm back with another one for y'all today. Welcome back to the Mystic Muse, where we dive into the creepy, the conspiracy, and the downright strange. And these ghosts be real strange. And if you are new here, welcome to the Mystic Muse, where the spirits stay lurking, the tea stays hot, and the encounters get creepier by the week. Tonight I have another compilation for you all. Stories that had me clutching my Florida water, checking my mirrors, and debating if I'm sleeping with every light and candle lit in this house. Because if some shit go down, I need to be able to see it. Don't judge me. Whether you've dealt with shadow figures, voices calling your name, doors opening on their own, or things moving around when no one else is there, trust me, you're in the right place. Go ahead and turn off the lights, and those protection candles should already be lit. Now let's go ahead and get into this creepy compilation. Only if you dare.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
This is a ghost story that I just cannot explain, and I have had many weird things, but this is the first one I have ever experienced in my life. So growing up, my mom used to live with her parents, so I had my grandma, grandpa, and then it would just be my mom and my brother and I all in the same house at once. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I had to pee really bad. So I walked out of my room and I heard my grandpa snoring and my mom snoring, and that's how I knew they were asleep. I'm walking down this hallway, it's just straight across the bathroom, and I stop and I take a look, and in the house there's two staircases and then there's a little platform right here, and so I was on the top of this staircase, and this staircase over here led into a family room. So I stop and I'm looking, and I see this dark, tall figure. It was a cutout of like a human, and it had no like distinguishing features. Like it was just perfect outline of a human. Like you couldn't see the clothes that they were wearing. Like you couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. Like it was just, and it was completely darker than dark, because it was in the middle of the night. The house was it was dark. There was no lights on, and the fact that I could just stand there and see whatever that was just standing there staring at me. I was like standing there frozen. I didn't know what to do. I ran straight to the bathroom because I was like, I have to pee. And then I get into the bathroom, I go to the bathroom, and now I'm trying to figure out, oh my God, what do I do next? At that point, I'm like, I have to make it back to my bedroom, and I do not want to look at whatever that was. So I just ran straight to my bedroom and I put my head on my pillow, and that was the most craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life, and I still cannot explain it. I wake up the next morning and I'm like asking my grandpa or my grandma or my mom, like, were you guys up last night? Nothing. Nobody was up. They were all snoring, and that family snores when they sleep. So ever since then, I've had some crazy stories.
I am live from the back room, and I need to record this and document this right now because this is the second ghost experience that I've had at work today. First one is I walked back here to grab cups, like, I don't even know when, at the beginning of my shift, and I swore out of the corner of my eye I saw somebody walking into the dish room because there's like a long hallway, and I was like, who is that? So I kind of poked my head back out onto the floor just like see who's missing off the floor, but the whole staff is there. So I was like, oh my God, is that a customer? Because customers walk into our back room all the time. I walk back here, I look, nobody's back here. I'm like, who the fuck was that I just saw? Because it literally looked like a man, like a human, but I just couldn't really tell. Anyways, just now I'm sitting back here, I'm counting the money out. Bethany is like to my right, like grabbing like milk and stuff, and this voice like literally says something. So I go, what? Because I couldn't tell who it was, if it was like her or my other barista who's on the floor right now. And then it's just silence. Then I look over at Bethany, she's looking at me, and I was like, what was that? And she was like, you heard that too? And I was like, yeah. Who was that? And she's like, I don't know, it sounded like it was coming like this way, which is the same area from where I saw the ghost person. And I was like, what the fuck? We go and ask Paige, she didn't say anything. So I don't know what's happening, but I think I'm being haunted.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
So I grew up in New Jersey in a house that was fucking haunted. I have stories, my mom has stories, my sister, my brother, my uncle, my grandma. Every motherfucker that went into that bitch had stories to tell. My God. I honestly don't know which one to tell because there's so fucking many of them. So I'll just start with like a few of them. And there was different things there. There was entities, I don't know. There were male, female. I saw shit. My mom saw shit. Here's an example. My mom was in the basement one day, and we had like a very old house. It was built like in the 1700s or some shit. New Jersey is one of the first 13 colonies, so a lot of it is dated. And with that being said, she's in the basement, right? Because I'm in Florida right now. I don't know where you're at, but in New Jersey, there's usually 1 floor, 2 floors, a basement, and an attic. And she's in the fucking basement, and they have those little square windows, and she sees a girl walk barefoot in a dress. And I have younger sisters, so my mom was like instantly freaking out. She was like in fucking parrot mode, and she ran outside thinking that one of my little sisters had gotten out. Mind you, they were young, so I would freak out too if my little sister was just fucking pouncing outside. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing, you know? So she goes outside, and she sees this figure walk towards this creek. So my yard was massive. I had this massive creek that ran through it and just woods. So she fucking bolts after it. Nothing. Guess where my sister is? She's in the room, just chilling. And I don't know if whatever was in my house was a malevolent creature or if it just really ate off of fucking with you, because so many bad things happen in that house that just really fucked up. And like, I was scratched on my back when I took a shower one day, like 3 massive scratches down my back. I was showering, just having a normal ass fucking shower. I was maybe 15 or 16, and then my back just gets red fucking hot. And I go downstairs, towel wrapped around me, and I'm like, Mom, Uncle, what the fuck is going on? Like, my back is burning. Like, the water burned me. 3 massive scratches just chilling right down my back. And they say that if it gets scratched and you get hurt, it's demonic energy. So needless to say, there are so many different things that happened there. And just like I said, I don't know if this thing was eating off of our energy, but like so much bad shit happened to the point where we ended up like all just fucking splitting and dipping, and it was just insane. And I remember specifically the very last week that we were leaving, I stayed at the house by myself because I was still like doing like shit there, like packing up my stuff, getting rid of all my shit. And you know, my friend comes over and I'm like, hey dude, I have the house to myself. Like, let's smoke in here, let's fucking drink, let's do whatever the fuck. Let's just fucking get lit. Like, it's an open house, like whatever, you know, why the fuck not? And so I'm downstairs and I'm rolling up a blunt in my living room. Mind you, my parents are 2 hours away where we moved to, and I just don't give a fuck. Like, I already smoked inside of there to begin with. I didn't give a fuck as a teenager. I was a very bad kid. Don't be bad kids. So I'm downstairs and I'm rolling up a blunt, and my fucking friend, he's like, yo, I need to use the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, the downstairs bathroom's right there. He's like, oh, I want to wash my face after too. So I'm like, all right, that's cool, bro, go upstairs. So he is upstairs and he is using the bathroom, and we're guys, we're fucking pissing with our, you know, dick in our hands. He didn't feel the need to close the door. I don't close the door when I take a piss. I don't give a fuck. Like, I live with my fucking girl now, and even when it was family, like, you know, we're family. Like, I've got my back to the door pissing. That's how guys are, you know? And so he's fucking peeing, and the fucking door just boom slams shut. And he opens the door and he screams to me from upstairs, because I had like a railing. He's like, screams to me from upstairs, and I'm like, Dimitri, what the fuck happened? And he's like, stop fucking with me, bro. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, you're fucking with me. I'm like, bro, I'm rolling a wood. Like, I got a tray on me and all this shit. Like, why would I run upstairs and slam the door? And so he starts walking down the stairs. And when he walks down the stairs, he makes it to like the third or fourth step at the bottom, and then running right behind him. Like, and that would happen all the fucking time. We would sleep. I'd wake up to something running up and down the stairs. And, oh, God, I'm getting, like, these fucking goosebumps because it reminds me of all the shit that happened there. I've got so many stories to fucking tell. If you guys want to hear more about these, like, I'm telling you, I have so many to tell that I lived in that house for 14 fucking years. 14 years. So if you guys want to hear more shit like this, let me know, because this is like my Pokemon TikTok. I have a TikTok for Pokemon. I got a TikTok for my music shit that I don't post enough on. But ghost stories, I got those, bitch. I got those.
Okay, I'm gonna try really hard to summarize this because I could literally talk about this forever. I'm gonna tell you guys my dad's story because I have my own that I think is really, really freaky, but his is like another level. When my dad was a teenager, he was a little more on the rebellious side, and my grandma was very, very religious. She always has been. And so when his friend came over with Ouija board and said, do you want to do this? He was like, okay, sure. I think also at the time people were more acute to believe that Ouija boards weren't real because we didn't have the internet and we weren't able to hear people's stories about this. So it's my dad, my dad's friend, and my dad's brother, so my uncle. They all decide to do it together because they're all friends. They sit down, they open the board, and they have the spirit come through. It's a girl, she says she's a pilgrim, I don't remember the name, and they talk to her, and it's fine, they have a good experience. So because they had a good experience and it was fun, they did it again and again. They did it about 2 or 3 times. Everything was fine every single time until the last time they ever used it. The last time they ever used a Ouija board, they sat down and they were talking to this one specific spirit. Again, she's the only one that they ever talked to. While they're talking to her, she's in the middle of spelling something out, the board stops, and the pattern, the way it starts to move starts to change. So pretty immediately they could tell that it's not her anymore, there's something else there, and they're kind of confused, so they ask, is someone else here? The board moves to yes, and they're like, okay, who are you? And it starts to spell out a name. I'm not going to say the name because I believe names have power and it genuinely scares me, but I will finger spell it. Okay, it's pretty easy to figure out who this is, you'll see. And the way that the board is moving now is different. It's ominous. It like has a negative energy to it. So they ask the person or whoever, they ask the spirit, what do you want? Like, why are you here? Why did you get rid of the other spirit? The board starts to spell out over and over again, I want to kill you. I want to kill you. Over and over. So this is enough for them. They close out the board. They don't talk about it. They never use it again. They don't touch it. But obviously this experience stuck with my dad. It's scary. So when he became an adult and Google had just kind of become a thing, he decides to Google it and see if there's any information about this spirit. Nothing comes up. There's not much on Google at this point. So he's like, oh, okay, whatever. A couple years later, once it's a little bit more established, he Googles again and there's a little bit more information. Other people are talking about this and the experiences that they've had. And he's like, oh, that's really weird. And then when the internet becomes fully established, YouTube's a thing, Reddit's a thing, it's there. He Googles it a third time. And at this point, there's a full-length feature film about it, YouTube videos, Reddit threads, like thousands of people talking about how they've had an experience with this one specific spirit. That's why I said it's really easy to figure out who this is if you actually want to. I wouldn't really recommend, I don't. So of course this terrifies him. He's like, oh my God, like that's crazy. And I 100% believe my dad because I grew up hearing the story before the internet was a really established thing, so I know he's not making it up. So yeah, I definitely have a handful of my own to tell, but that is my dad's.
I live with a ghost or a spirit or something is in this apartment. And I don't know if it's in this apartment or it just follows me around. It didn't start maybe up to like maybe a year and a half ago or a year ago. I don't quite remember when this started, but weird shit happens and it's just, it sounds weird to say out loud and I was fine with it up until last night. And now I'm just like, who's gonna get me out of my lease? I love my apartment. She's beautiful, but now I'm scared. So one thing that has happened is basically one time I was sleeping, well, like mid-sleep, and my nightstand went, you know, it was loud, like somebody opened my nightstand right next to me. I didn't open my eyes. I was like, I'm going to bed, bitch. I'm not dealing with it. Maybe 2-3 nights ago, around 2 in the morning, they threw my phone off my nightstand. No, it wasn't me. I didn't tap my phone. I wasn't anywhere near my phone. My phone just flew off my nightstand and hit the ground. And I was like, you'll be there in the morning. I'll pick you up then. Just little things like that. My little baby cousin, she's about 2 years old. She was up there, ran downstairs. She was like, oh, I see zombies. There's 2 of them. And then she goes and grabs a picture that I have of my sister's dad. He passed away about 1.5 years ago. And she was like, it was him. And I was like, okay. Just little things like that. Noises in the middle of the night. Oh, this is one. I heard in the middle of the night, right in front of my bed, I heard, oh, you can't even hear it. Can't hear it. I thought I could do it on the carpet. You know, like when somebody walks and you hear and I just woke up and I did oh my God. And I just prayed to God and I went back to sleep. But last night was the worst. Last night has been the worst to date. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 in the morning. And I felt somebody walk on over to the side of my bed. And I felt a body standing over me, and it felt tall. And I don't remember if they covered my nose, my mouth. It wasn't my neck. It had to be my nose or my mouth. And I just woke up and, like, you know, obviously scared, and just closed my eyes and I just started praying to God. Just started praying for God to protect me. But I felt something on the side of my bed. And now I'm scared. I know these things sound crazy out loud, and I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. Like, I live alone. Who's gonna protect me? Oh my God, terrible. I know I sound crazy, but any recommendations help? Thanks.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely.
If you scare easily, go ahead and exit right now. When my grandmother was in hospice, she hospiced under the care of my mom and my aunt in this home. As it got closer to the end, my grandma would kind of swat and be like, do you see them? Do you see them? They're just flying all around me. They're flying all around me. She would also say that she sees a man in the corner. One day my mother was in the bathroom doing her hair and my aunt was going to the store. While my mom was in the bathroom doing her hair, she felt a huge gust of wind, as if like somebody was like walking by and walking through our hallway, and they're walking fast and like with a purpose, like startled my mom. Then she peeked outside the door and she's calling for my aunt. She's like, Pat, is that you? And it wasn't my aunt. And then it happened again and she sees somebody like walking by, and my mom was like, what the heck is going on? My mom just gets this really weird feeling and she goes into my grandma's room and she's like, hey mom, are you okay? And my grandma was like, did you see him? And my mom was like, yeah mom, I saw him. He starts speaking to it, starts saying, hey, I think I know who you are. We're not ready for her to go. And my mom said that it was a cloaked figure, like a pale cloaked figure with like a button-up shirt with a high collar, like ruffled high collar up to here, ruffles on the sleeves, and like a hat that Abraham Lincoln used to wear, like a top hat, like a few days past. My grandma is watching Judge Judy, because that's what my grandma loved, Judge Judy. And my mom is in there, and Judge Judy had just gone off, and my mom goes in there and she's like, hey mommy, ask my grandma if she wants to watch the Today Show now, because Gladys Knight and the Pips are going to be performing. And my mom has her back turned to my grandma, and my grandma's back here laying down. And my mom says, she's like, hey mom, do you want to watch the Today Show? Gladys Knight and the Pips are on. And my grandma said, no, he's here. And my mom says, who's here, mom? And when my mom turned around, my grandma had passed. Like, my grandma was dead. She was gone. She said, no, he's here. And she was gone. It was the angel of death. Angel of death came and took her soul. Yeah, he's here.
So I want to talk about how I was haunted by a ghost in college. And it's really hard for me to talk about now because it was just like my reality for like 6 months, 7 months, like a long time. When I was in college, something had happened and I had to change my dorm. And my dorm was the oldest dorm on campus. It was like really eerie, old elevators that had that like mothball smell to it, community showers, all brick. you name it, had a cafeteria inside. So it was one of the first dorms that like originated on the campus. So I remember when I moved in, my boyfriend at the time, he helped me move like my TV, all my like clothes and stuff into the dorm. And mind you, they had these like big elevators, like freight elevators. And we were taking my stuff up to the dorm, and we had to go back downstairs to the lobby to grab the rest of my stuff. So, you know, it was real cool. It was real cool. So when we got back on the elevator, I look and it's like someone took their finger and drew like a pentagon. Like, is it called a pentagon? I don't know. Like a little circle with a star on it with their finger, and it was in the elevator. And me and my like boyfriend, we looked at each other. We like, what? Like, what is this? That's weird. So we didn't think nothing of it. We laughed it off. Whatever. The next month staying into this dorm, the worst thing ever. I'm so traumatized that most of my memories blocked off, but I know it started with like, say like, you know, I had to use the bathroom late at night, and it was like a community shower, so I had to go like walk out my dorm, go to the bathroom. I would just feel something like watching me. It was so scary, and I'm like, am I tripping or what? So I would like run back to my dorm, go back in and just shut the door, and my boyfriend like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? So of course I'm saying like, oh, nothing, it's fine, whatever. Then it really started. I started to like have my like student ID. I would go like downstairs to the cafeteria to check in, and I wouldn't have my ID after that. I like, where did my ID go? Like, I have 4 issues of my ID because this happened like multiple times. So I would go back to my dorm and my ID would be right there, but I need my ID to check in the cafeteria. You get what I'm saying? So how could it end back up like on my desk in my room? So yeah, multiple instances of like things disappearing, and I'm finding it again. And you know, at that point I just thought like, you know, that I am not careful with my stuff, you know, like just misplacing stuff all the time. So when I moved back to the dorm, it was just like me in there, but it was like a double room. And in my room, it was just like all my stuff was there, like nothing was missing. So I just moved all my stuff from the dorm I was previously in back to my original dorm. And then that's when all the freaky stuff started happening. Like the lights would start flickering. So I would be in the dorm with like my boyfriend would be listening to music, and then the lights just started flickering like to the beat. It was really crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is it like some electrical problem? So I had asked my suite mate, I'm like, hey, like, was your like lights doing the same thing too? And she said no. So I'm like, okay, mind you, still not like completely registering, but it started making its presence known. So to start with the lights flickering, then it started to like throw things around like in a room. So I would be sitting down, and then all of a sudden something would like fly to me. Like I didn't capture it with my eye, but it would like move something that was over here all the way to the other side. Like it was like as clear as day. Like you will see like a cup that's right here go to the other side of the room. So it's a lot of stories to do with that one, but I want to jump into like when I had got a new roommate. I had got a new roommate in my dorm, and when my roommate had came, she like, you know, she was really cool, and you know, we bonded really good, like it was perfect. And I tried to give her a brief, and I'm like, hey girl, like, you know, it's like it's a ghost in this room, I just want to tell you that. And of course she looked at me like I was crazy, but I told her this because if anything happens, I don't want her to think that it's me. So on one particular night, me and my boyfriend, we were laying down, and I see an apple levitate. It was like my roommate's apple that she had like up above the closet. I don't know why she had the apple up above the closet, but it was levitating, and we are looking at it. We were like laughing, like, oh my God. And then it just slams the apple down. I kid you not, slams it down. And we both run out the dorm. We ran out the dorm, and we went to his and spent the night there. So there was one time where I had to stay in a dorm by myself, and it usually never messed with me when I was by myself. It will always be when I was with my ex or my boyfriend at the time. And I was sitting in my dorm, and I seen like a book fly across the other room. So then I got scared, so I called my grandma for her to pray, and she said like a prayer and everything, and I thought I was okay. And then it was like, it started throwing everything else around the room. It was like everything else. It was like books. I'm sorry, hold on a second. it was like books, water bottles. It was all like flying around. So I run out my room and I go downstairs to the lobby, and I'm just sitting there crying. And I was talking to like my RA, which is like, you know, the resident assistant, or, you know, the person who docks each like what floor of the dorm or whatever. She's like, what's going on? And I couldn't tell her that it's a ghost in my room. So I'm just sitting here waiting for my boyfriend to come here because, you know, at this point I'm being tormented. So I go to my boyfriend's dorm, come back the next day, and everything was fine, you know. The day after that, I was in the dorm with my ex at the time, and we was walking past in my dorm, like, it's like we got 2 different beds. My bed is right here, my roommate's bed is on the other side, and I was walking past her bed, and I looked by my boyfriend, and all of a sudden we just hear like the drawer open up, like the desk. It's like a desk, and it just started throwing out everything that was like in my roommate's desk. I know, right? And it was all on her bed. So we run back out. We go to his dorm and stay the night there. So then when I came back, my roommate's stuff was back in her desk, and I had told her like what had happened. Of course, you could think she's like, oh my God, this girl is crazy. What are you talking about? It's no way that this happened. So I'm like, girl, please believe me. Like, this is just what's going on. So this is the time I'm going to tell you about, like, I'll say a week after that, what happened to make her believe. So another day, me and my boyfriend was in my dorm, and my roommate, her boyfriend, in the dorm too. So I'm laying, like, you know, down. We all cuddled up, booed up. You know, it's like morning time. And we were all like watching TV. Well, me and my ex was watching TV. They were like, you know, just chilling, relaxing, being cute and stuff. And my TV, the thing that was holding up my TV, started to sway back and forth. Mind you, I have like plates underneath that because it's like a dorm, so you got mixed space work. And it just starts swaying back and forth. And I'm like, I'm telling y'all, like, that's the ghost. So they just started laughing. So I had like my initials. It was like blocks, and it was like on my windowsill. My S ended up all on the other side of the room on her boyfriend's head after they laughed because it was swaying back and forth. So then everybody's like, oh my God, how did this get over here? And I'm like, y'all still. So we were laughing at this time because, you know, I guess that's what irritates us. So all of my glass plates that were underneath my TV on the little thing holding it up, it just started throwing them all down. So all of my plates and bowls were broken on the ground. So they all run out. My roommate never came back to the dorm. She moved out shortly after. So yeah, there are other like instances. Like, it took me a long time to be able to like take a shower by myself, or take a shower with the curtains closed. My suite mates hated me because I had like water all on the floor, but I couldn't close the curtain because I knew once I closed the curtain, all the lights would switch off, and I would run out of the bathroom. There was one instance where like I was taking a shower as usual, and you know, I decided to close the curtain and stay, and I felt like a breath like on my back, and I got scared because I already knew what time it was, and that's when all the lights switched off, and I switched it back on. I ran out, and I seen a shadow turn, like literally like run, like it was a short shadow. It ran and turned the other way, and my boyfriend had his headset on at the time playing the game. He's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "It happened again." So that is my college ghost hunting experience. If you want to hear more about it, let me know, but it's a lot.
When I was 9 years old, I pissed off a spirit so badly, it burned down my barn. Let's talk about it. One of the biggest things about people interacting with the paranormal is they accidentally tend to disrespect them a lot before they get educated, if they do. Obviously, as a child, I was one of them. I had recently had a major awakening at this point in my life. So all of a sudden, after months of random spiritual activity, I'm starting to be able to see the spirit that is doing these things. And we can get into that a whole nother time. That is a whole nother story. But long story short, this spirit was very active on my property in the middle of the woods, and it had been making me paranoid for over a year. We're talking about like machetes going missing on the property and randomly appearing in the woods. Random dead mummified chickens just showing up in our barn that I go to every day. And so many other random things. Obviously, as a young child, I was scared and paranoid. All of a sudden, I find myself in a car accident, having a dream about the car accident before it happened, hit my head, and I start seeing spirits. And now all of a sudden, all of these spiritual activities going on the property start to make sense because I'm watching this creepy old man spirit do these things. When we moved onto our property, there was a trailer that was there for many years before us and many years before the owner before us. This is where that spirit actually lived, as this spirit was the one that had built our house and ended up dying on the property, but that is where he lived. And this RV was completely grown over with blackberry bushes and all kinds of things. And we had always stayed away from it because it was just so creepy. It was so creepy. We had been inside of it like a couple times, but we wanted nothing to do with it. So after years of being harassed, and then all of a sudden him showing himself to me and a variety of people on our property, watching us sleep, I would look over and he'd just be standing in the doorway at night or in the stairs leading to the basement or walking down the hallway in the basement. I got pretty fed up. Like at this point, I was so paranoid that I was more mad that he even existed than angry. And one day we are walking up our driveway. Me and a family member, we'd just gotten off the school bus. We're walking home, walking up this driveway, very long gravel driveway in the woods, beautiful, but worst thing ever to walk up, steep ass hill. And all of a sudden, me and this other family member see this old creepy man, this spirit, walk into that RV and is actively stepping in there, halfway in there, and the door of this RV is open and shuts as if he's like already like halfway in the door and shutting it behind him. We see him step in there and the door shuts. And at this point, I capture this like in my mind. I am now fully aware of the situation. Like, you want to infiltrate my home, my property, and make me paranoid, harass me, harass my family, sit there and mess with all my things, make things go missing. You know what? Fuck you. We're gonna do it back. And young me, 9 years old, gets so mad that he even exists, gets fed up, finally, like, I guess, catch him in the act, you know, like a full-on visual where someone else is seeing him at the same time, that I get this weird sense of angered, fueled confidence to go into that RV right then and there. Like, literally have a backpack on and everything. I walk in there, of course the spirit's not in there, but the energy's weird, and I decide to smash the shit out of this RV. We're talking every window, we're talking the walls, we're talking all the things in there, because there were things left behind. We're talking the ceiling, poking holes in things. I mean, smashing the shit out of it. Just blackout, you know, rage room style. You know what I mean? Just ultimate crash out. And I'm like, that'll show him. You know what I mean? Soon as we get up to this hill, up our driveway, because like I said, it's a long, long hill. Steep gravel driveway, about a 1/4 mile long. Maybe even more, honestly. We get up there. I feel so much better. I feel relieved, kind of nervous. Get into our house. We say hi to the family that's living there, and immediately the power shuts off. The power shuts off. A couple cups, just plastic cups, fly off the fucking counter. One of them hit me, but they just fall off the counter. And we're all like, what the hell? We're used to the power going out though. So the cup thing we kind of just ignored. We're like, oh, that's kind of silly, like wind or whatever. Rolls off the shoulders. But I had a very deep feeling in my chest, just the sinking feeling in my chest of, oh no, I pissed him off. And at that point, I'm obviously not spiritually protected. I know nothing about spirits in that way. This was the start of my spiritual journey, you know what I mean? And that night, one of our barns catches a blaze out of nowhere. Just all on fire. Fire department has to come in and deal with it. None of us even woke up. it was the fire department that woke us up. Like, how do you sleep through that, honestly? An entire household sleeping through that. And they review kind of what's going on, what started the fire, and we see that this old electrical cord that had not been touched in years, obviously, outside of being evaluated and up to code, had been cut. Clean cut. And we didn't get no like insurance or anything like out of that. This was a barn that had no animals in it. It was purely for storage. Probably should have clarified that in the beginning now that I think about it. But it's the middle of the night and I'm enjoying myself. And this is like all my childhood stuff, baby stuff, memory stuff, family heirlooms, anything like that, which we didn't have much. Only shit passed down in my family was addiction and abuse. But there's this clean ass cut, and this spirit just starts getting more and more angry from there. And let me tell you, this was my first huge spiritual lesson on fucking with spirits or not, and also being protected if you're choosing to be an asshole. And it only goes up from there, but let me tell you, this was the first spirit I had ever banished. And that was a learning curve for sure.
I have a scary story if you want to hear it. So my house when I was a teenager wasn't big enough for all of my siblings to have our own room. So I decided to sleep in the basement. It was a finished basement, so each of my siblings could have a room of their own. This would turn out to be a mistake because it started out small with the bathroom door shutting by itself, like slowly, and the blinds to the windows knocking into the window. But there wasn't a draft. One night I was laying in bed, scrolling on TikTok, doom scrolling, when I started to hear something coming from the stairs. It kind of sounded like scuffling footsteps on the carpet. I assumed it was my brother coming to hang out before bed. He usually did. I could also hear the steps creaking, which was a noise I recognized from when people walk down the steps. I kept waiting for my brother to turn the corner or to say something, but he never did. I just heard someone go right back up the stairs. So I just assumed that he had decided he just wanted to go to bed. But once I reached the top of the stairs, I heard them turn around and start right back down the stairs. I was starting to get really freaked out, but I didn't want to get out of bed and see what was making the noises. This continued for hours until like 2 a.m. when I fell asleep. I asked my family about it the next morning. No one has ever confessed to being the one doing that. But I don't understand why they would do that. Walk up and down my basement stairs for hours until I fell asleep. No, it makes no sense. But I like telling these stories, so if y'all have any you want me to read, let me know.
So y'all know how they be saying like kids and babies can see shit that we can't see as adults? I'm sitting here thinking about the time when I was between the ages of like 7 to 10. I don't know my exact age. One day my mom took me, my siblings, and my one friend to the park, right? So she was over there with my siblings. Me and my one friend was over to the side playing. This little girl came up to us, joined us, and started playing with us. We kids, so we don't give a fuck. We all playing together now. In the midst of playing, though, she was like, hey, y'all, like, follow me over here. And she started going into the woods. Once again, we kids and we inquisitive, so we start fucking following the bitch. But as we following her, as she walking into the trees, this bitch disappears into thin air. I lied to y'all the fuck not. Me and my friend immediately look at each other like, yo, bitch, you just seen that too, right? And when we realized that we both just seen that shit, we started running over to my mom because now we bitching. We like, yo, we just seen a fucking little ghost girl running to the woods. Like, and my mom, you know how parents be, that she was like, oh, whatever, brushed it off. But it's just like, yo, I saw a fucking ghost as a kid and nobody believed me. And it's like when the girl moved out the block, we wasn't friends no more. So I didn't have nobody to talk to it about.
Yo, so I got Storytime, right? I started working I do direct care work, so I work in people's homes with older people. I started working for this new client. She's an older lady. Right, she's 89, so she's really like dependent. Like I gotta pretty much do everything, feed, bath, everything. So she lives with her son. They said they just moved into the home like 3 months ago. It's a disability accessory and all that, so for the mom and everything. Cool. He just was still letting me know everything about his mom, about the home. He did say the older person that lived there passed away. I ain't pay that no mind. Just like, okay, you know, well, it's good that you got the home for your mom. So, one day, I'm like 3 days and just working with this lady. He talking about he got an appointment. So I'm left alone with the mom. I'm there with the mom. Like I said, she's 89, yo. Like, when I tell you, she stays in bed. She sleeps the entire time, the whole entire time there. Like, you know, all I do is pretty much change her, flip her side to side so she's not laying in that one position. So it's pretty much just me alone. I go to the bathroom. So I'm using the bathroom, but like I'm squatting over it, obviously. I'm squatting over the bathroom toilet. And I pee, wipe myself, put the toilet paper in there. The toilet just flushes. Like, I'm like, okay. Like, you know, he must got some high-tech shit. And this motherfucker, I'm looking around, like, because I'm looking like, did the toilet just flush? I'm looking inside the toilet, shit going. Cool. I ain't pay that shit no mind. I'm just thinking he got some new tech toilet. I go back in the room. We can go by. Now, I'm here Tuesday. I still never asked him because I was going to ask him, like, how did you get your toilet to flush by itself? Like, because Mike, he got the little handle joint. He don't even got the joint that push in the middle. So, he like, huh? I'm like, your toilet. I'm like, how you get it to flush by itself? Like, you know, what kind of toilet you got? He was like, my toilet don't flush by itself. I flush it. I'm like, I used the bathroom and it flushed by itself. He was like, I didn't tell you, but they found that dead man in the bathroom. I'm like, what? He's talking about, yeah, when he passed away, when he came in here, they found him in the bathroom dead. He was like, he probably handled that for you. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there because I'm like, ain't no fucking way. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, you sure you told him? He like, I'm sure. Like, he sat up and everything. Like, he was serious, y'all. He like, I'm sure. Y'all, that shit scared the fuck out of me. Bitch, my heart was pounding. What the fuck? Because I'm like, that toilet flushed by its fucking self. Bitch, I ain't flushing because I looked. The water was going. Like, you know how the toilet refills back up. Like, you know, I went, washed my hands, did what I had to do, got the fuck out of there. I wasn't even thinking like, okay, you know, what the fuck? But he talking about, yeah, when they came in here, found that man, he was in the bathroom dead. So that's probably what happened with the toilet flushing. What the fuck? I'm like, oh my goodness.
If that didn't convince you that the veil is thin, baby, I don't know what will. One thing about these spirits, they stay busy. A huge shout out to all of the Mystic Muse channel members. Y'all keep this space going and glowing, and I appreciate every last one of you guys being here with me. And don't forget, we will be meeting this Saturday for morning meditation for my celestial seekers and above. So don't forget, make sure your alarm is set. And if not, that's okay. I'll have the playback for you guys as well. I get it. Not everybody rises as early as I do. Now, me personally, I get up at 5 a.m. to go ahead and start my rituals, but that's just me. If you have a paranormal encounter, ghost story, a folktale, or something that just keeps you up at night, email me or go and drop your story on the Reddit page because your story could be featured for one of the future episodes for the Mystic Files podcast. But until next time, protect your energy, cleanse your space, and remember, if the shadows start moving, don't be a hero, run. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here so I can edit this for you guys and push another one for you guys because you're enjoying these creepy comps so much, and I'm not going to lie. So am I. So be sure to drink your water, mind your business, and stay prayed up and protected. And as always, Luna loves you. I'll be back with another one for you guys, if the spirits allow it.